I'm a horrible person.
Correct.
You're a terrible person.
Uh,
This is why we see you once a week.
Can't believe that you're missing the mark on this. For the
yeah.
record, by the way, think that you're only a horrible person when you forget things like that. Otherwise, I think you're. Or when you butt dial me. Do you know that you butt dial me?
Hello, and thank you very much for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. You can download many more episodes at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com.
I have a habit of spilling my beans right in the beginning. I'm going to use some Gen Z wordage here. Jumanji didn't slap for me this time. Does not slap. I'm not a fan of this. I'm looking for you guys to talk me off the ledge, but I think this is number 2 after Brave Little Toaster. It could be. This did not slap for me. Eric, how the hell are you doing?
Well, I'm excited to go a different angle because though we were watching this movie, as much as I do still enjoy this movie for the adventure ride that it is, there are some questions that I found ourselves both asking, pausing the movie, Googling, doing some deep dive research, going into theory, and trying to get an answer for this. Sarah, do you want to maybe explain a bit more?
I don't think we made it more than like 10 or 15 minutes into this movie before we were talking about time travel and paradigms and all kinds of existential questions that we have about this movie that we cannot wait to get your opinions on. We did like Eric said, we Googled, we read Reddit theories, and then we kept pausing the movie and going, wait, what about this part? And then adding to our theories and continuing to watch.
I think this is going to be an interesting show then, because I mean, I was so angry that I didn't pay attention. So talk to me. Or
No. I feel like we have a little bit more into the theory of it, and then if you are frustrated by one or many a thing, Jordan, I want to hear about that first because
Yes.
I would agree that this movie doesn't really have a whole lot. And hold on, what's a better way to put it that I was thinking? If this movie came out, this exact same movie came out today as is, it would get hated on more than it would get praised, I think.
for what? For stuff that I'm thinking that I don't want to say?
People would bash it for its simplicity, and although we've done the same thing on the show, I myself have included have done that for many other movies. There is a joy to that simplicity of a movie where you just are watching it for the adventure. This target audience, though, is made for a family, like made for kids. It's based off of a kid's book, and you can't do that same practice to like an adult movie, like a 50 Shades type of thing.
Right.
If you're going to be playful, stay playful. This movie was playful, and in that realm of playfulness, a lot of things are forgiven. But I can understand those gripes. Those what I'm saying is what people would complain about today, because I think that hate watching is a lot more popular now than it was back then. We have so many things to watch, and people are oversaturated with a lot of things, and so they pick to hate watch. Is it just me thinking this?
No, I don't understand hate watching anyway, by the way. I don't want to watch something that I don't like. It's not entertaining at that point. So hate watching to me is it's stupid. I'm going to sit here for 2 hours and be mad. And no, I mean, like, okay, so let's go with simplicity and then I guess more complicated. For me, I thought the movie was very boring. For 1995, I'm 8 years old? I was bored. I wasn't bored then. I'm bored now. Nothing happens. I'm very bored with this movie. I don't like the characters at all. I don't like the characters. And I don't like, do I want to say, is it the correct word? The duality? No, it's not the duality. Between his dad and also the hunter is played by the same actor, that kind of thing.
You're right.
Or was I right on that? So it's like, and Robin Williams, anybody could have played this role. Hook was better than this movie.
So when the kid, at the very beginning, when the kid is riding his bike across the street, I told Eric that he kind of looks like Steve Carell. Like Steve Carell could have subbed in for Robin Williams' character very easily, and he could have had the same movie.
Totally
any
agree.
sort of physical comedian would have done a great job.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a good paycheck movie because Robin Williams doesn't do full Robin Williams in this movie. kind of plays the straight and narrow in this a bit more. It's as what the movie would require you to be. So that's why I think you guys are correct. Any actor could kind of jump into this. With that being said, what do you think about Bonnie Hunt? Could you replace her?
Who's
Or
Bonnie Hunt?
Sarah Whittle.
Grown up Sarah Whittle.
Grown up.
yeah, grown up Sarah Whittle.
The adult.
Or of course, Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst.
Everybody could be replaced.
Yeah,
everybody.
I agree.
She was fun. What's her name? Sarah Whittle, the grown up. She was fun because for the first 5 minutes she was struggling with like saying, "Who are you, strange people? Oh my God, blah blah blah." She was struggling a little bit, so it kind of made me relate. But then after 5 minutes, she just kind of gave in. I'm just like, nah, like a little bit more of a struggle.
All right, hold on. How about David Allen Greer then? I'll throw you that ball.
That could have been Chris Rock. That could have been Dwight from The Office, since we're talking about Steve Carell. That could have been anybody.
You don't think that
Anybody could have played his role.
But if anyone, okay, you're right. I guess it's just kind of
Tim Meadows.
medium comedy that could have been put into this. Maybe not completely a token character there, Jordan. But
I said Dwight too as well.
But yeah, I see what you mean. That an oddball, someone who can just kind of play quirky for a few seconds on screen.
Right, and the CG in this is god awful.
It was 1995.
1991 was Terminator 2, and it still holds up today. So
Okay, fine.
It's biased.
Okay, so I also am going to piss off a lot of our millennial generation folks and say that I think the Jumanji Welcome to the Jungle remake is better than this.
I was very pleasantly surprised when I watched that movie for the first time because I was ready to hate watch it, and I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was so fun. The actors, the way they play their characters, the way Jack Black is playing a teenage girl.
Right, great.
Did a fantastic job. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoyed the second one as much.
Nobody does.
But the first one was good, and I kind of throwing in my thoughts a little early. I've always enjoyed Jumanji. I've never hated it or anything. And so I was ready to hate the reboot. Like you're not going to do it justice, the original justice.
Right.
As an avid reader, I know the original book. It's been a while since I read it. It was a book. It's a children's book called Jumanji by Chris Van Allsburg, who is a Michigan native. Fun fact, he's from Grand Rapids. And it's a much simpler book than it even is in the movie. It's just Judy and Peter. Sarah and Alan aren't in it.
Oh, they're made
and
up.
It's just two kids who are playing the board game. And the same kind of things happen. There's a stampede. There's a monsoon.
The monkeys in the kitchen.
The monkeys. Yeah, it's very beautifully illustrated. If Riley doesn't have these books, she should. Chris Van Allsburg is a fantastic author, and they always have really beautiful illustrations. But anyway.
So Alan and Sarah were written for the movie, but there was nobody sucked into the game that came out.
Nope.
None of that. Okay.
No, I think Rolls on the Explorer.
That I think was written for the movie, and then later carried on into the TV series.
Yeah, was that a cartoon, right?
TV series?
Yeah, it was a cartoon.
Saturday morning cartoon series. Yeah,
and it was.
You're right. Go ahead.
It was following. Correct me if I'm right. It was following Alan as his escapades in the jungle.
Yeah, it was where Judy and Peter, they went into the jungles of Jumanji and had adventures in there. So when they're done with school, they can go hang out in the jungles of Jumanji with Alan, and all the characters are there. Van Pelt is there, all the challenges of the jungle. But of course, because they are experts, they can navigate through the jungle without any peril and just have adventures.
There were 3 seasons of that. I don't think I've ever seen it.
Cool beans.
No, so I walked into this pretty hyped. I was excited. We watched it on a Friday night. Oh, great. That was on Netflix. And I said to my wife, hey, she can't see Barbie, but can't she see Jumanji? She goes, yeah. Riley liked Jumanji. I kind of watched it through her eyes, right? Because I was around that same age, 7, 8 years old. And there were some parts, that she was bored with, like in the middle section. But she
Yeah.
loved the animals. She loved the monkeys. You know, she loved Van Pelt. His scream in the general store was hilarious to her. She was afraid of the spiders. She found it funny that Robin Williams got stuck in the floor, like little things, you know.
I love when he gets stuck in the floor and the spiders are coming and he's going, he's like blowing at them at the corner of his mouth. I think that's really funny.
That's the Robin Williams part, right?
Exactly.
There.
Yes.
Right. All right. So, right off the bat, the movie starts out like in 1899 or 1869 or whatever, and these two kids, we don't know who they are, buries this game that has drums. We don't know why. And now we jump 100 years later to 1969. I thought America progressed more in 1969, but I guess I'm wrong. Because there's this very, very white town.
This is New England, buddy.
Right.
Yeah, it's New Hampshire, but if you look at the factory, almost all the workers are African American.
I only saw the dude, David.
No, there's a
Allen
bunch
Greer.
of them.
I-
It was like
okay.
predominantly black.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because it was
I
like
didn't-
really in New
Wow.
England, in New
over
Hampshire.
my head. Over my head on that one, I guess. I'm sorry. I guess what pissed me off was the shoe. But yeah, let's talk about that. So kind of messing up here. But there's this worker at the shoe factory owned by Parrish, and he's developing clearly these brand new Nikes.
Mhm.
I mean, those are Nikes. And it's like in 1969, that's ridiculous. But that's the point, right? The point is that it's supposed to be a modern shoe in 1969.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Anyway,
relatable to kids.
right. It's like,
Which-
what I was it?
Again, a lot of this movie, don't mean to interrupt, but a lot of this movie will hit the beats of just keeping kids' attention. That's all it's designed to do.
Right. I was waiting for the pumps. So we get Alan Parrish, who's this rich kid who bullies pick on because Alan is friends with Sarah Whittle, who is allegedly dating some bully. And his dad owns the shoe factory, right? And then he stumbles upon this game that made me mad. Runs away from the bullies in the beginning of the movie and goes into a construction site. Nobody pays attention. Hears the banging of the drums. Nobody else hears but him. And it just so happens that they missed the game perfectly to make this big square for a foundation for him to easily go and get this game and for him to take it. Okay, setup, right? It's a kid's movie. It's setup, right? We got to go with that. Am I wrong? You got to go with it.
Yeah. It's a kids movie. You just go along with it. It's a magical journey, and it's got to start somewhere, right?
Right.
Sometimes
right.
it
This is the
starts
mulligan.
with a library card. If you know what movie I'm talking about.
Why isn't that movie part of the retrospective?
Well, yeah, because I just realized, I said to Gina, I was like, oh my God, this is 2 Robin Williams movies that week. 3, technically.
He had a run. Like, he was a great commercial character. He's a voice actor as well as an on-screen presence. But just like you said before, this movie was bland. It just kind of wanted some reactions of people who... There was a lot of yelling and screaming in this movie.
Yeah, there was. There was a lot of yelling. So Alan is mad because his father owns the shoe factory. That's not even why he's mad, but his father owns a shoe factory. His mom, we don't know what, and they're getting ready to go to a gala or a dinner. And the dad says to Alan, "Hey, bud, you're going to go to this all boys school because that's what every guy in our family did." Alan's pissed. This is why I call BS. Wouldn't Alan know that all of the males in his family have gone to the school? Wouldn't he want to go to the school? He's mad for some reason. I don't know why. I don't get his angst. That's one of my
I think that's what it is, Jordan, is that he is also confused and he doesn't really kind of know what he wants to be, but he knows what he maybe doesn't want, doesn't not want to be. He knows he doesn't want to be this. He doesn't know maybe what he wants to be in the future, but to say that he wants to be this tuxedo wearing, gala attending person, he doesn't want to be that. And I think the rest of the movie, he takes that journey to figure it out.
That's BS because at the end of the movie, he is exactly that. He's just in a Santa costume.
At one point at the beginning, he says something about how he doesn't want to go to this school because he already gets teased enough for being a parish, and the parishes kind of run the town. And so if he goes to this boarding school where His grandfather's name is on the building. It's Parish Hall. Like, that's not going to make him
that's right.
popular. It's not going to make him fit in any better. So why leave if it's not going to change anything for him? Like, he doesn't want to live up to that legacy that his father and grandfather and everything expect him to.
Now, see, now, Sarah, to me, that's nonsense to me as well as for the character, because you would think that he would want to go to this because it seems like everything is given to him. You have to follow these steps in order for you to take over my factory.
Right, but just as Sarah had said, that he understands that his privilege is a curse. People look down on him because of his privilege. Obviously, that's why the boys are, picking on him because he's friends with so and so, but that's what he was saying, or that's what Sarah was saying about what he was saying to his parents, that he feels that this is a heavy burden.
Right. Maybe he's fenced in. He's feeling like he can't be his own person because he always has to be a parish. That he's destined to run the shoe business. That he can't make his own choices. And so he's trying to kind of go against that. And I think by the end of the movie, he realizes, this is the character growth, both in him and his dad, is realizing that just because you're a parish doesn't mean that's a bad thing. Understanding his father more after he kind of has to father Peter through the movie. And they kind of come to that understanding where, we know that in the end, he does take over the shoe factory, but he's maybe kind of doing it in his own way and coming up with those ideas. And the guy who had the cool shoe in the 60s, letting those cool ideas run through and not just make the same thing all the time, and making that company his own instead of doing it the same way his family has always done it.
Is this part of those Reddit theories that you guys are talking about?
Not even a little bit. We haven't even gotten close to that yet.
Oh yeah, we haven't even gotten there yet, actually. Although I will bring up one comment that I saw on there saying that it was a great way to tell the story, because this is a guy who we are introduced to as unable or scared of making the move on this girl crush that he has, unable to stand up to his father, unable to say no about going to the school, and then as soon as he gets out of that game and he is grown, to face his father after facing Van Pelt, right, his father, he hugs his dad and tells him he's sorry. He's able to go to that school and he kisses the girl. He's able to move on to the next part of his chapter of his life because he stood up to his fear.
Okay, fine. Okay. He gets sucked into a game.
They play a game, yeah.
I know. Yeah. So Sarah comes over to apologize for her boyfriend or friend. She doesn't really determine what he is, and they start playing a game, and must be magnetized or something, right? So what happens is they open the game, and as soon as they grab these pieces automatically fly to their start zones, and you have to roll. And she rolls first, if I believe correctly, and she hears bats in the chimney, but we don't see anything. He rolls, and he gets sucked into the game because, and the only way to get out of the game is if a player rolls a 5 or an 8, and he is locked away for 26 years.
Yep.
Correct.
26 years later, the house is abandoned.
Yep.
This aunt whose brother died in a car accident, plane accident, we don't know how, right?
Car accident in Canada during a ski trip. They were very specific.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Has Kirsten Dunst and Peter, who unknown, I don't know who Peter is. Has he done anything since? No.
No, probably not. Bradley Pierce is the guy's name. He was the voice of Chip in Beauty and the Beast. He was in The Borrowers. Remember that movie with John Goodman?
Boy.
He was also in a bunch of. Oh, he's a voice. Well, he's got a face for voice acting. I can tell you that.
Jeez. So we get these kids. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna sound like a jerk. I don't care about the kids, and I don't care about the aunt. And was this like a Casper situation where it's like, this is the murder house, so we're trying to get rid of it, so we're going to sell it for cheap. Because that's the rumor throughout the movie, is that Sarah was there to see Alan get sucked in a game when they were teenagers, but the rumor is that the dad chopped him up into little pieces and put them in the walls.
Mm-hmm.
That's so this is classified as the murder house, if you will.
Sure.
Sort of, yeah.
Right. So they hear the banging of the drums. They eventually find this game, right? Just like Alan and Sarah did. And now they're playing the game where I believe she rolls first.
Mm-hmm.
What comes
Correct.
out? Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes comes out first, and second is the monkeys, which is Peter.
Mm-hmm.
But then they cannot roll again. No, yes. Peter rolled double, so he gets a roll
Right.
again.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he rolls again, that's what gets Alan back into the real world with a lion.
With a lion.
Yep.
With a lion. Was Alan fighting the lion? Is that why they both got
I'm
sick?
not quite sure. I was
Okay.
wondering how he got back.
Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah.
because
It was the 5.
it was
or
a
the
5.
8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It applies to the previous, I guess, what do you want to call it? Applied
Turn players.
active, the active turn that was
Right.
Alan's.
Now, I'm going to say that I'm skipping a lot of filler stuff because I was bored, right? Because after Alan gets sucked into the game, that was like a big whoa moment, right? And then you get this 15, 20-minute setup before the game plays again. And this is the part where my daughter's like, meh, because it was so cool to see Alan and the bats. She wants to see more of that. Were you guys feeling that at all?
That's
Or not?
what are you talking about? I'm onto it, but when they flash forward to like present day, they're building up a story again. They have to establish who these people are, that they are the niece and nephew of Aunt Nora, that they got this house on a bargain, that their parents died, and that these kids are distant, kind of troublemakers. Aunt Nora was able to do the amazing job of cleaning that house up in a day.
In a day. One day.
I could do that. My wife said that. She goes, she did that in a day. I was like, I do a lot of stuff in a day.
All right, Jordan. Well, when we move, you can come over and you can unpack us in a day.
Perfect. I'll have a great time doing it.
Great.
I'll be happy.
Okay.
I'll put everything
Alright.
where it need to be.
Maybe one or two, maybe like the front room and maybe like that first sitting room, sure, in a day, to look like that with furniture.
She does
and
an
everything
entire
else.
house.
But that entire
Allegedly.
house? No way.
We don't see her do the entire house.
We do. Yeah, okay.
Time paradox number
Yeah, we don't see her do the entire house.
We
It's
see her
like-
do the main room, but by the time the kids come home from school,
Yeah.
the dining room is done. The kitchen is good enough that she can make an entire meal. The kids' bedrooms are set up.
Maybe the
Multiple rooms have been done.
one. Anyway,
And these kids are not helpful.
Actually, this is more fun. So, just play the game of mosquitoes. Yes.
so day one's done and they're a trouble at school already. And this morning, she's leaving to go to work. They're going to catch the bus, but they hear the drums.
They hear the drums. So who got in trouble in school? Kirsten Dunst, right?
Yes.
Sure.
That's the one. Because Peter doesn't talk because
Right.
he's sad that his mom and dad are dead.
He doesn't talk to anybody except Kirsten Dunst.
Because he's sad that his mom and dad are dead.
Yeah.
That's his.
Yes.
That's his character development. That's
Yeah.
just great.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So again, they hear the drums. We get the mosquitoes. We get the monkeys. God, the CG. The mosquito CG was decent. The monkeys was the worst one out of the whole movie. I would
Yeah,
say.
they were not
It's-
good.
It had
It was
faces and
really
teeth.
bad. It was really
They
bad.
smiled. Like-
Really, really bad. And like I said, the next one's line was good because what they decided to do was they wanted to make an animatronic robot too and have a CG line. That looked legit. That
Yeah.
looked great. I liked the line. Robbie Williams comes right out of Peter Pan and looking wilderness here, looking great with a big beard. I don't know what to say because the next thing I want to say is that he starts to shave, but that's not what happens. This is
he
where
catches
this is,
up. He runs around town and sees that for some reason this part of New Hampshire is now run by homeless drug addicts everywhere.
That's hilarious, right? This is so like a Back to the Future 2 moment, right?
Yep.
Where it's like if something doesn't happen exactly this way, everything is this, goes to crap. We have Trump Tower for the clock tower, that kind of situation. And then he also sees that David Allen Greer is now a police officer. He seems to be doing well. He doesn't seem like he has a future that's bad, right? He was a shoemaker. He developed this idea for a Nike before Nike, but now he's a cop. That's okay, right? No.
Yeah, but he's got to be a cop in a small town when he could have been
Could be
like a
doing better.
super cool shoemaker.
What's the name of the guy who developed the Air Jordans?
I don't know. You guys reviewed Air.
Carl Bentley. Nope, that's David Allen Greer in this movie. That's right.
My point exactly. I mean, he's better known as a cop, right? I don't feel bad for David Allen Greer because it seems okay.
Who produced the Backstreet Boys?
You're the only one who knows that.
Oh, but it doesn't matter, right? Because you know what I mean. Like that's a creation that's going to change the world.
Yeah, it's changing his life.
You don't. It doesn't matter if you know the name or not, Jordan.
I'm just trying to get a point that I don't think him being a cop was a bad thing.
Your point.
They could have done something better. They could have made him like a down and out real estate agent like Lionel Hutz.
He could have also been working at the save a lot or whatever that thing.
Yeah,
was.
that's what I'm saying. It's like something worse than a cop. It's a good job. The pension. Anyway. But yeah, so they say to David Allen Greer that Robin Williams is their crazy uncle, and he's seen war or whatever, and he sees that his parents are dead and the factory's burned up, and there's a bum living in the factory. Nobody cares. There's bums everywhere. The nicest bum in the world, by the way.
He's got coffee ready.
Yeah.
And a fire and a loyal dog.
Living in a sweet, burned out factory, but a great office.
He's got shelves.
He had a nice fireplace. He's got a bed. His dog's
mattress.
there.
Looks clean.
Yeah.
The bum gave the main character clothes.
Yeah.
Like this guy was legit. I mean, some people nowadays would call that a flipper.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So all this, and then eventually, Alan? They do the reverse psychology, right? So Alan's not going to play. He gets his shave on. We get Robin Williams. This is the middle of the '90s. This was like his stinker time, right? This is when after he did Patch Adams, when he goes off and does Jack in this movie, right? If you remember, you're giggling because you remember Jack.
Yeah, I
mean,
know. Let me pull up Robin Williams because he was working in the '90s.
'98, he did Flubber.
I was gonna say there's Flubber in there too.
Yeah, I mean, like and then he became like a serious Robin Williams, kickstarting with like What Dreams May Come, right? And then he did like Photo Booth. He did like those serious kind of movies, right? But in the mid '90s here, there's some stinkers.
What movie are we doing again?
Jumanji.
No idea.
Let's see. This is okay. So he seems to be doing a lot of characters before this, right? Toys, Miss Doubtfire, Aladdin, Fern Gully, which we've done, Hook, a lot of just crazy Cadillac Man, Dead Poet Society. Yeah, all that stuff is like beforehand. But after that, he starts getting, he gets Birdcage, Jack.
Was Birdcage before this?
Birdcage was after this, and I would say that after Birdcage is when the downfall really starts. That's when Jack happens. Aladdin 2. Hamlet. Remember he was in Hamlet?
No.
Father's Day, Flubber, Good Will Hunting.
Was in Hamlet?
Yeah.
What?
What Dreams May Come, Patch Adams.
Oh, Patch Adams was in the late '90s.
Ooh, Jacob the Liar, Bicentennial Man.
Oh.
Remember that one?
Okay.
1 Hour Photo.
Okay. So I was completely wrong then. So the early 2000s was the crap years for Robin Williams.
What do you think? Talking about like robots, RV?
Yeah, it's pretty bad because you
Year?
said like Flubber's pretty bad, but Good Boy Hunting. I mean like that's a great performance.
I mean that's Oscar worthy.
Yeah.
What's License to Wed?
Okay, he was in Hamlet. He wasn't like a main character of Hamlet. He was not Hamlet, for example.
No, he was in
He was
Hamlet.
just in
I mean,
Hamlet.
technically Schwarzenegger was in Hamlet too. Remember that? To
I
be or
try
not
not
to be?
to.
Not to be. No, okay,
Not
okay.
to
So,
be.
Well, I mean,
okay, so
there's
what we
a
gonna
lot of
say?
people in Hamlet, right?
So, I mean, just to say, because I asked the question, is this the start of his downfall? Because he does Birdcage after this, which is a great film. Good Will Hunting a few years later after this, that's a great film. Is this the start? Because he was not outrageous, like Eric said.
I don't know. What would you consider a down? This looks like more like a roller coaster, man. It looks like he's got some ups and got some downs, just like many other actors in Hollywood.
Okay, fair enough. Well, it's just because this is like the least Robin Williams part. But they go and he finds out that Sarah Whittle is now a grown. And by the way, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Gina did math. Did you guys do math for this?
Just finish your
Continue.
thing. Finish your thing.
He's our age.
Oh, yeah.
And he looks like crap. Do we look like this?
He lived
I mean,
in
he lived in the-
Jumanji
yeah, he
for
lived in the
26
jungle.
years.
No, just in general. I'm like, was Robin Williams the actor too, this age? No.
Googling
Oh.
right now.
I'm just asking because he's
He
supposed
was
to be.
he was 40.
was
44
He was
44.
44 when he made this movie.
when this movie came out.
And he was playing 10 years younger. Because he
Yeah.
was like 36.
Yeah, because I think they said that they were like 12, 13 years old, and then he was gone for
Right. Gina did math. She
26
was like,
years.
yeah, we were
Yeah.
watching the movie. And then Gina looks over at me and she goes, "Do you know that he's supposed to be our age?" And I was like, "What? Why is this the Mandela effect thing? Why is it that when you're a freshman in high school, the seniors look like they're 30? And then when you're in your 30s, you don't think that you look like you're 30?
That's just aging, man. It's just how life
Yeah,
works.
it's just
Okay.
life.
Okay. That bothered me a lot. So,
Well, if it helps, you could look at him in a picture. Look at him in Good Will Hunting. He looks old in that.
So they go to Sarah Whittle's house, who is a psychic, I guess.
Yes.
And she immediately doesn't call the cops. So I want to paint this picture. Stranger knock on her door. She goes, "I'm not seeing anybody." And then she tries to shut it. Then Rob Williams puts his hand out and he's like, "Don't you remember in 1969 you were playing a game with a kid and he got sucked in?" And she's just like, "Oh my God, I'm going to faint." Okay. Like, all right. And they bring her back to the mansion. She struggles a little bit, right? She says what a lot of people would say, like she tried to get out and escape in fun little moments. But then she's like, "Okay, fine. We'll play the game." No?
That's
You
how
guys-
she deals with it, I guess, when you're having a psychotic break.
I guess so. She was trying to tell, which is sick, by the way, that she literally saw what because in the movie aspect, we can only see what she sees, right? She's paid thousands of dollars to psychiatrists to get her to believe that he was murdered. Like, God.
Yeah.
Well, it's easier to believe than he got sucked into a game.
How? She saw it happen.
Right, but who else would believe that? And so everybody is gaslighting her and saying, "No, you're crazy. You didn't see him. He just disappeared."
What I want to know, and here's where some questions start coming in.
Yay. Okay. Excited. I've been
So-
waiting all episode.
All that happens, right? Traumatic. Sarah
Mhm.
freaked out, chased by bats, out the door.
Mm-hmm.
Board game stays on the table.
Mm-hmm.
It's there. It's in the house. It's still in the house. So her story about that, like, the board game is there. I would think that any one person, even after a while, because of how ridiculous it is, might just have the curiousness to say, "You know what? Let's open it up and try it out." And they would probably get sucked into the game too. I ask. Then, because in that part, because this game seems to have powers focused on, wait for it, dun, 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 young people, on children. Only kids can hear the drums. It seems to draw them in. And it seems that only kids can start the pieces. Alan and Sarah did it when they were kids. Well, actually, it was just Alan. He held up 2 pieces, and it fell out 2 of them for him. And same thing with Judy and Peter. They're 2 kids, and they were
The
chosen to.
kids from the 1800s, the 2 kids at the end. But you always have to have
Kids
2
only
people to play a game, right?
Yeah. So kids
And
kids
kids
only
are more
game.
likely to play the game.
So maybe the game in its infinite power, cosmic power, was able to kind of dodge the adults who just kind of ignored it. And that would explain why the construction workers didn't give a damn when young Alan went down there, was drawn in by the drums to get the game.
Because
Construction workers don't give a shit about anything, excuse me.
We're
besides
dealing with cosmic powers greater than we understand here.
Yeah.
or nothing happens, and this was all in Alan's head.
If the day is over, they're clocked out. They don't care.
I actually firmly believe that nothing happened. This was in Alan's head.
This isn't some Ferris Bueller type of analogy type of thing, right? Because other people are involved. Like Sarah was there.
Right, but I still, I mean, I'm not being cheeky, like, if that's the way you say that word. I really think all this is in Alan's head, because everything from the point to when he gets sucked in the game until the end didn't actually technically happen.
Or did it?
Dun, dun, dun. All right, so game was there, and I guess it got ignored. 26 years later, where were we? They meet up. They get Sarah Whittle. She's having a freak out moment. They trick her into playing with the dice pass, right? And then they're off to the races, and they're in the game. What happens when she rolls the dice? What gets out? Is it the vines?
The vines get out, and then we get a straight, when they're like, the purple ones show up, and I think Kirsten Dunst's like, oh, those are pretty. He's like, yeah, watch out for the yellow ones. And straight out from Little Shop of Horrors or Tremors 2, right?
Both,
like the yellow vine comes out.
The yellow vine with fangs and fur.
Yeah.
Right, that one. And the next one is Van Pelt. But before Van Pelt, what Eric was saying was that Sarah is not going to want to play, so she tries to hand the dice over to Robin. Robin has his hands out, and when she drops it, he moves his hand. We've all done that because of this movie, right?
Absolutely.
Right. I'm just making sure that we're on the same page.
Now,
and
because of that, here's the thing too, because I've tried that many a damn time, and I will tell you more than often than not, when that happens and you turn it, it usually will get a side a piece of your hand there, like a die will hit. So does
never
that mean
perfect.
That's last
Never
touch
perfect.
rules, right? We're playing out of bounds rules, right? That's.
I'm assuming so. So because Alan cheated, is the game punishing Alan, and that's why they're bringing it back? They're putting into the real world Van Pelt?
No, I don't think the game sees that as cheating. I think it's just it's a continuation of the game.
Okay.
He's getting her to play, which is what the game wants them to do.
So that you die. So you can't finish the game.
Not necessarily, but
everything that came out of the game besides the monkeys could kill you.
Yeah, that's called the jungle.
Right, but I'm just asking though, like, I mean, like, what's the part of the game? What's the end game? No pun intended. Like, I mean, like, does the game want you? Like, is the game punishing you for playing it? Is the game mad that you're playing, so it wants to kill you, or does it want you to go on these adventures to live? That's a valid question.
I think you're overthinking it.
You guys are the one that read the Reddit post. I haven't.
You don't even know what we read the Reddit post about.
So I would think that this game, because it's only appealing to children, is maybe helping with kids who are traumatized in a way, to helping them face their trauma to get over something and past it. How about that?
There we go. I like that.
If you're looking for a deep cut, a deep kind of dig about what this is supposed to be, Jordan.
That's it.
That's what this is all about.
Well, speaking of deep cuts, Van Pelt, played by the same actor. This is a choice, correct? There's a reason why Van Pelt, because he's evil, like his dad's supposed to be evil.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's there's a part in the movie where he's complaining to Sarah about how why Van Pelt wants to kill him. He's like, oh, probably because he sees the worst in me, probably, and it seems like almost she asked him about his father, and he gave him that answer. So I think that he views Van Pelt, this person who's constantly out to get him, as his father.
Did they say in the cartoon why Van Pelt is after him?
In the cartoon, Van Pelt is just an old-timey hunter. He's out there trying to find the most dangerous game.
So he hunts a grown man.
The most dangerous game.
Okay, so that's where he's straight from. He's straight from that book. He's straight from that stuff. That's what he is.
Yeah, he is with the pith helmet and everything. He is exactly what you would imagine, kind of that sportsman to be. The deepest jungles of wherever I went and I killed the beast. Yeah, type of thing. And
Okay.
I mounted it on me. Yeah, it has a kill room with trophies and everything. He's that hunter guy.
Gotcha. So the biggest part of the movie, believe it or not, that got the biggest laugh, because guns are it's such a political thing nowadays, right? More than what it has been in the past. It always was, but you know what I mean. The biggest laugh was when Van Pelt goes to the local gun store with this. I mean, he's walking down the street with this huge elephant cannon. Like, nobody says anything. Walks into a gun store, and the guy's just like, oh, you want this big, high-powered rifle? You have to fill out all these forms. He just puts all these gold coins out, and the owner says, I can fill those forms out for you real quick, snap. And it's like, that's probably true nowadays. And just loads him up with so much equipment. That got a laugh out of me, out loud. It was just funny. It was ridiculous.
That was the real part of the movie right there. Money talks.
Yeah. The next point is they're trying the gang. I don't know. They leave the house because of a stampede, I believe.
Correct. Stampede is next.
And then that's where they get into the scary part of the mosquitoes, right? Or is that no? The mosquitoes are before.
No, the mosquitoes are before they meet Sarah.
Right. That was actually a cool thing with the mosquito trying to go through the convertible top, and then the mosquito trying to go through the windshield. Riley says to me, Daddy, why are those mosquitoes so mean? And I said, because they're Africanized.
Jumanji is in its own area of the jungle, in a made-up continent, in a different world.
I thought my joke was funny. She didn't get it.
Whatever.
I think it's...
She didn't get it. I thought it was funny. So we get the stampede, and then Van Pelt goes after them, and then a pelican steals the game?
It does.
I thought a pelican was like a Louisiana thing.
There's pelicans all over the world.
But the New Orleans basketball team's called the Pelicans, not the East Coast team. I don't understand the pelican. Okay. Anyway, so a pelican steals the game, and this is also where no, hold on now. The game knows that you cheat, so the game punishes you because also this time David Allen Greer takes Alan is going to take him to jail, and then this is when Peter cheats.
How? Oh, Peter cheats, yeah.
Yes, Peter cheats.
Peter cheats because he was trying to put the dice the way so he can win the game. Mm-hmm. So then the game transforms him into a monkey. Why?
Because he's cheating, and there's consequences to cheating.
There's no rules that say that. There was two sets of rules.
It's a rule in life. Also, the more you know, the great white pelican lives in Africa. If we're looking at Jumanji being an African.
You almost said Jumanji, you 30-something.
Jumanji.
Hey, how about this? Why don't you go play some Pokemon while you're at it, okay?
Hey, children. Yeah. I would like to say that oh man, what the hell were you saying before about that it's ridiculous? Oh yeah, Jordan, for cheating, do you really need to have a game remind you at the start in the rule book? Hey, just a reminder, no cheating. And it was, I need the game to tell me, otherwise I'm just gonna go ahead and just make up my own rules.
Just saying it's ridiculous. Just saying it's ridiculous. Just saying. After this, we get into the dollar store, the small town Walmart, the Piggly Wiggly, if you will. This is where I had fun. You know, Van Pelt playing cat and mouse with Peter, with Kirsten Dunst, and with Sarah trying to get the game back and forth. The little pew-pews of the silencer, nobody hears it. That's funny.
I don't think anybody cares.
Nobody cares. Everybody's looting. Everybody's looting because there's a stampede and there's monkeys.
And a disease. And on the
The
radio.
mosquito.
Yeah.
Yeah, multiple people have been infected or stung or something by the mosquitoes.
Yeah, everything's going crazy.
It's the end of the world as we know
End of
it.
days.
So this is what we should have done during COVID?
People did do that during COVID. It was called
Jumanji?
Black Lives Matter.
So Van Pelt gets like somehow like what does Peter do? He uses a weight bench to put, I don't know what it was, like was it air?
Creative. Yeah.
Like air can or something.
He
Then
pops
Van
the
Pelt
valves
gets
off
it.
those canisters.
Thank you. And then Van Pelt does that hilarious scream that just got a big laugh out of Riley. Loved that moment, right?
Yeah, it's a great moment.
And then they all go back to the house, and this is where Peter gets sucked into the floor. You guys don't have any other theories?
We're
That's what I was
waiting.
excited. Oh
On
my
what?
God, you're still waiting.
Yeah.
Keep
Okay.
We're gonna
keep
get to
going.
this movie
we'll
before
get there.
we get to, yeah.
Okay. Well, Peter gets stuck in the floor. The spiders come. Right.
Yes.
There's an earthquake next too.
Yep.
For some reason, the house gets split in half.
Well, he gets stuck in the floor from the quicksand, and then there is the spiders.
Forget about the monsoon.
We already had the monsoon.
Oh,
We
okay.
did.
Yeah, I think
Move the
so.
monsoon.
When they got back in, this is before that. They had the
Oh,
monsoon.
you're right. You're
then they
right.
went
The monsoon
upstairs, and then
happens
they had
once
that.
after the earthquake,
Okay.
and then
Okay.
Aunt Nora comes home. And then then there's the water, and that flushes everything outside,
Okay.
Then they go upstairs.
and then they go back upstairs.
And they.
And that's
in
when
the
Van
attic.
Pelt finds them, right? And then it's Alan's turn, and the movie ends.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's because it's the quicksand, and then Kirsten Dunst gets shot in the jugular, a la
Oh,
Will
yeah,
Ferrell
with the
style and
purple.
old school with the purple. So she's dead,
Mhm.
right?
Oh,
Peter's
just sleeping.
still a monkey, and this is when Van Pelt comes in, and then just like Uno, once your character gets into the center, you have to say Jumanji out loud for everything to get sucked back in.
Yeah.
Right? And then him and Sarah share a kiss. And then while they're kissing, they go back to 1969.
A hug.
I thought they were kissing.
It's a hug at that time. They
Okay.
kiss later.
It was a hug, and then they go back to 1969 like nothing happened.
Yep.
So then they decide to take the game and give it. What do they call the gangsters? Where they tie concrete to your shoes and they dunk you. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They just lost the joke on that one. So they're gonna throw it into the water.
Sleeping with the fishes, like with the concrete slipper shoes.
Concrete shoes. And then Sarah makes a comment. She's just like, as the minutes are counting, not in these words, but as the minutes are counting, the more and more about what happened, I'm starting to forget, and then we're never gonna forget Peter and Kristen Dunst and
Judy.
Judy. Jumps forward another 26 years. Now we're back to where the movie was in the future.
Just before.
It's
very important.
This is the parish house. We are assuming, it's not said, we are assuming that Robin Williams is now the CEO of Parish Shoes. We're assuming that his dad's retired. He went to the old boys school. Everything is great. He married his sweetheart. And this is where he meets Judy and Peter's parents. They want to go on a ski trip. They both yell, no, haha, funny moment. They meet Peter and Julie. And
Judy.
whatever. And they ring in the holidays. So I went through all this because I want to hear these theories. So what are they?
Okay, so, a few minutes into the movie, I asked the big question. Movie starts in 1869.
Right.
Nice round number there. It's 1869, and these two boys are burying the Jumanji box.
Mhm.
I said, wouldn't it make sense if Jumanji existed then, that there should be some sort of documentation of all of this weird stuff happening in this small town in New Hampshire. Monkeys and elephants and rhinos and such. Wouldn't there be some historical record of this happening?
No. Go ahead.
So that led us to when, Alan gets sucked into Jumanji. The game sort of goes on pause for 26 years. Peter and Judy start playing it again, but when their version of the game ends, it all reverts back to 1969. So the theory is that when you finish Jumanji, everything that has happened in Jumanji, or has happened in the game, all the stuff that has been released, gets sucked back into the game, and you go back to the minute when you started, just before you started playing. And that's typical for all games, regardless if you get sucked into Jumanji. So it could be a 26-year game, it could be a 3-hour game, it could be a 10-minute game. And that only the people who are playing remember.
Yes.
So those two boys are the only two who remember in 1869, which would be why there's not a historical record, of all these crazy things happening in a New England town in 1869.
We have a time travel paradox in
Yes.
Jumanji.
I agree with everything you just said. That's a theory. I think the movie said that.
Now,
It does not.
it does not. So we have a few
There's
more.
rules only on the two sides.
Yeah, there's a few more things to consider as well too. So like, what happens if both players get sucked into the game? What happens if Alan dies in the jungle while he's inside the game? Is his player eliminated from the game and is no longer able to continue? Right? If you start on a Saturday and continue playing for that Monday, and you can finish on that Monday, does it go back to that Saturday? We're assuming yes, because of this logic. If you start on a Saturday afternoon and play into a Saturday evening, does it start into the afternoon again? We have to assume yes because of the logic.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speed play? Which is a thing that I was curious about. If 4 of us or 3 of us even all sit around and just quickly, we're just rolling dice. I roll, read. Sarah rolls, reads. Jordan rolls, reads, and we just keep on going back until one of us quick gets to the top and yell Jumanji. Is that a thing? How long is the downtime from the resolved state to a new game? So when you complete Jumanji and you come back to 1969 and you're with Alan and Sarah, that game is what I consider a dead game into its reset, right? How long before are you able to play a new game? Are you able to play a new game again?
I think it would be immediate.
Yeah, it'd be immediate.
Does it? But there's the logic of the game: does it only attack troubled or traumatized children? If their case is resolved on this, they're not hearing the drums. So, are they able to again?
No. I don't think the movie's telling us that at all. Like I said, I think all this is in Alan's head.
Here's another one. If that's such a case where the game continues on for 26 years, and then after you beat it, comes back. But then after that 26 years, the timeline still is confirmed to be true because Peter and Judy still both exist, which the odds of that still happening within that 26 paradox is extreme. That means the parents have to meet again. That means that, let's say, the creation of the Paris new shoe line, which is not created in the original storyline that we had seen, is now taking place, altering a lot of effects here. It could be a lot. The town has now changed. Does that mean that the parents, maybe how did that affect their relationship? There's a lot to consider in that part. A butterfly effect, if you will.
Okay. All right.
I'm going into the time travel part for.
Yeah. No, I don't like the time travel part. I never do. I go cross-eyed. You know this with Marvel reviews.
Well, I think we need to watch Zathura
They
to get an answer.
label the universes, Jordan. They make it as simple as possible in Marvel. They label them.
They do
Universe
number them.
616, Universe 313, whatever. That's got to be like the easiest multiverse to follow.
Even Kevin Feige said, "Yeah, we kind of need to stop on the Marvel and Star Wars stuff." My bad. Okay, so why don't you
Making
guys
them
like
too much money, I guess, huh?
right? So do you guys not like my theory? This is all in Alan's head, then?
No, I don't.
Well, no, okay, I can understand that completely because all of it would be kind of almost like a Green Knight effect, right? Where he got to see a life lived if he chose to be a coward in fear.
Great reference.
Right? And then he finally
Great
gets to
reference.
stand up, and in that moment where he gets to finally become this person who he wants to be, that stands up, he gets to live that life. He gets to go back and be a life of fearlessness, and with that new courage that he's able to stand up and be a man. So,
Because like I said before in the beginning of the episode, is nothing that happens after Alan gets sucked in the game actually happens. Nothing.
Correct.
So it's like, how is that not in his head?
But Sarah remembers all of it. So how does Sarah remember it if it's all in Alan's head?
Okay, valid point. Yeah, we have to take the movie at face value that this was Alan and Sarah's game. No matter what, that's who started the game. It's their game. Judy and Peter are along for the ride. Once the game is finished, of course, Alan needed to call out Jumanji. Then everything will go back to the way it was at that moment in time. Absolutely, I totally agree. I'm just saying, I just don't like it. That's all I'm trying to get at. I get it, I just don't like it. So,
well, with that said, Jordan, you want to keep going in a popcorn?
I believe I want to give it a small. And the reason why I believe I want to give it a small is there was a point in time where the movie came out, I saw in theaters in 95, right? Like everybody did. And I remember liking it, and I remember going back to it once it was on VHS, every time and then. But after about a year or two, like I kind of just got out of it, and I never revisited it since The Rock came out with it. So what? The last time I saw this was 97, maybe. I thought a lot of it was boring, and I wanted Robin Williams to be Robin Williams, and he kind of wasn't. And I thought he needed to be more of that. And anybody, like we said at the beginning of the episode, anybody could have played these characters. It's just, I don't get, how about this? It kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, and I don't know why yet. I haven't figured it out yet, but I just didn't care for it. I just didn't think it was that great. It just didn't hit the way it used to. So, Eric, what is your popcorn rating for Jumanji?
This is a solid medium for me. I still do enjoy this movie. I really do, and I will really never talk it down. I grew up with it a lot. It has a lot of that charm. It's just, I would agree with you, it's just not like the most amazingest. And the difference between this movie and the newer ones is that this one, the game is still very much the main character. It's the threat. It's what drives the movie. Where in the other movies, it feels very much like the cartoon, where it's all around the players and their interactions and their banter and their challenges. They overcome the challenges by working with each other, whereas in this Jumanji game, it seems that not necessarily that they're forced forced to work with each other, but more that it's challenging you to, well, challenge your fear and do something else. So I do like this adventure part. As a kid who always used to play board games and having that mysterious part of where you roll the die and say, oh no, what's gonna happen next, the unknown, and have the game come to life. That's always a fun thing for a kid. I've always liked that. But yeah, the back and forth was kind of silly in this. Even when I watched it as a kid, it's just a solid kind of a movie you put on when you're having to drive 3 hours across town because you don't want to go, but your sisters wanted to go, so you have to watch it anyway. And so, all right, well, I'll tell you what, I'll go, Dad, if we put Jumanji on. And so, okay, girls, you hear that? You're okay with your brother putting Jumanji on? Yes, Dad. Okay. Oh yeah, but we could watch Babe after. Yeah, we'll watch Babe after Jumanji, then Babe. And so, okay.
Babe. Wow.
It's a very
So
specific memory for you.
Yeah,
that's
there
a
was clearly.
that's
That was a
that's a
memory.
few years, a
Deep.
good chunk of my life right there was what you just heard right there. But yeah, I mean,
Okay.
it's
Small for me, medium for you.
yeah. I think I said all I wanted to say about that. Oh, about in the videotape, about how it was got me confused because of the flyaway home reference.
Sarah, what is your popcorn rating for Jumanji?
I'm also gonna give it a medium. I think I watch more kids movies as an adult than you guys. I've revisited movies because I know I've seen this in the last 10 years. And it's a fun movie. It's, kind of action packed. It's light. You don't really have to pay attention to it. You can put it on in the background. I've always enjoyed it, but this time watching it and actually I guess really digging into it and saying, okay, so how did this work? Do I care how this works? Not really, but it's fun to ask the questions and debate it. So it's not, the best made movie of 1995 or the best made movie of the ones that we have seen so far or will be seeing. But I think it's a fun movie. And if you haven't seen the remake, give the remake a try too.
Yeah, and that's the thing to close out the show is that if I did not have Movie Guys Podcast goggles on, I probably wouldn't look for any of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would just be like, hey, Riley, let's watch this movie that I used to love when I was a kid and
Yep.
not pay attention or care. But I think that's the curse of Movie Guys, right? We've been doing this for so long that anytime we watch any kind of movie, no matter what, we kind of have those goggles on in a way, right? And
Uh-huh.
just like,
Here it is.
Oh.
Sorry, if you had the VHS version of Jumanji and it has the first title of Flyaway Home, which is called Flying Wild on there, then that you have now a rare collector's edition tape.
this goes off of the trailer for Step Kids that I was trying to tell you about. And you were like, what are you talking about? From Turtles.
That's right, man. Let's keep this rare trend, this cult trend going here.
I'm telling you.
Of trailers of movies that exist, I promise you.
They do. We've seen it. So yeah, that's what it is for me. Eric, I'm sure you agree because I was explaining to Sarah that we have these Movie Guys goggles on, and reviewing something like this, you just kind of have to be like, all right, let's review this. So, but thank you everybody so much for joining us on this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast for our nostalgia extravaganza. 2 episodes left. Only 2. Can you believe that?
Time flies. It flies away home.
We got September, we got October, and then we got the series wrap up. Series wrap up's not really I guess, but 3. But still, though, only 2 more reviews left to go. Only 2 more. Can't believe it. This was a fun one for nostalgia extravaganza. I was glad about
I miss
this
it already.
one. I do, because it's nostalgic. There we go. But like always, check us out at movieguyspodcast.podbean.com. Wherever you get your podcast from, we are on that platform. Thank you so much for downloading us. And Erica, Sarah, thank you so much for joining me. And we'll be back next week for another awesome episode. Have a good night. When?
Oh, buddy, hold on. I actually will pull this up. I know we're at the start of the show
Recording.
here, but let me show you.
This
real
would be
quick.
good. This would be a good.
Friday. You called me once on Thursday, twice on Friday. And once was a FaceTime, I think.
That's fantastic.
I called you twice on Thursday.
On Friday.
Friday.
Yep, at 9. That was you.
So I butt dialed you.
On one of these times, here was it. Oh yeah, it was Thursday. Thursday at 5:25. Incoming call, 19 seconds.
Okay, so what it is?
See, what had happened is that your butt
Look.
wanted to give me
Always.
a call.
Look at the phone. Look at my favorites.
Eric
Number one, if you
Podcast.
guys. Number 1 is Gina. Number 2 is Eric. Number 3 is Lisa. so on and so forth, right? So sometimes like I'm like, okay, I'm going to click on Gina, but I click on Eric, or I'm like, oh, gotta call my dad and I click on it because they're so close to each other.
Does that mean that subconsciously you think of Eric as your wife?
Okay, I think we have enough material, guys. Thank you.
Better that than the dad, I guess.
I'm sorry. I don't try
I mean,
to.
if his finger slips, it's either
No, actually,
your mom or your wife. So
I take that all
Hey.
back and edit it to this, Jordan. I'd rather be your daddy than your wife, I guess.
It's silly.
okay.
Anyway, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2,